Hello and welcome to Speak Smart English, your home for learning English through real stories and real inspiration. Today's episode is going to be exciting, powerful, and full of life lessons. We're diving into the unbelievable, inspiring journey of one of Hollywood's biggest stars, Tom Cruise. You've seen him flying fighter jets, running across rooftops, hanging from skyscrapers, and saving the world in the Mission Impossible series. Through this story, you won't just learn about Tom Cruise. You'll learn how to stay strong even when life gets tough, how to speak English confidently using real vocabulary from real stories, and how ordinary beginnings can lead to extraordinary success. Tom Cruise didn't have a perfect childhood. He wasn't born into fame or fortune. But he turned every difficulty into determination. His journey teaches us that anyone, no matter where they start, can achieve greatness. You'll also improve your listening skills, vocabulary, and pronunciation, all while staying inspired. This is not just a story, it's your classroom and your motivation rolled into one. So grab your notebook, sit back, and let's unlock English fluency through the incredible life of Tom Cruise. Let's begin. Let's rewind time to July 3, 1962, in a small hospital in Syracuse, New York, a baby boy was born. His name, Thomas Cruise Mapother IV, Mapother, his father's family name. He was the only son of Mary Lee, a special education teacher, and Thomas Mapother III, an electrical engineer. But don't be misled by the word engineer, the family barely made ends meet. His father couldn't hold a job, kept getting fired, and constantly shifted from one town to another. There were times when they didn't even have food on the table or electricity at home. But what made it worse? His father was abusive, both emotionally and physically. In an interview, Tom once said, he was the kind of person who, if something went wrong, he'd kick you. A bully. A coward. Now imagine being a child, watching your mother cry silently and fearing your own father. That's the world Tom grew up in. Because his father couldn't stick to jobs, the family kept moving again and again. By the time Tom was 14, he had already lived in over 15 different towns, and studied in 14 different schools in just 10 years. Think about that. Every time he made a friend, they shifted. Every time he started feeling safe, it was taken away. Every time he tried learning something, they had to leave. This made him feel different, lonely, and disconnected. And then came an even bigger struggle, something that couldn't be seen, but was always there, dyslexia. Tom couldn't read properly. Words danced on the page. Sentences broke apart. Nothing made sense. Back then, people didn't understand what dyslexia was, teachers offered no help. Classmates laughed at him. They called him names, slow, stupid, dumb. And the saddest part? Tom started to believe them. He tried to hide his reading problem. He'd memorize answers. Pretend to understand. He'd smile on the outside, while breaking inside. But there was one person who believed in him no matter what, his mother, Mary Lee. she could see beyond his struggles. She always told him, "Tom, you're not dumb. You're different. And you can do anything you dream of. Never let anyone else define you." One day, while still in school, Tom watched a group of senior students performing a play on stage. He didn't understand all the dialogues. Couldn't read the script. But something inside him clicked. He thought to himself, "I don't know why, but I feel like I belong up there." That single moment changed his life. He began joining the school's drama club. Since reading was hard, he'd memorized the entire script word for word. He studied others, observed facial expressions, body language, voice tone. He practiced daily. And soon people started noticing, he's so natural. He lights up the stage. There's passion in him. The same boy who was once mocked for being slow was now captivating an audience. For Tom, acting was not just an interest, it became his escape, his voice, and his identity. Then came another turning point. His parents separated, his father left for good. His mother, a strong and determined woman, raised all 4 children on her own. She worked 3 jobs. Tom also helped, delivering newspapers, doing odd jobs, anything to support the family. At one point, he even thought of becoming a priest, but that little spark of acting inside him never faded. At 18, he made a bold decision: "I'm going to New York. I'll chase this dream. I'll figure it out." With no college degree, barely any money, no strong plan, just a heart full of hunger, Tom moved to New York City. He shared a small apartment with others. Sometimes he slept on the floor, sometimes he had to skip meals. There just wasn't enough money. To survive, he worked random jobs, cleaner, waiter, anything that paid even a little, but no matter how tired or hungry, he never missed an audition. Every single day, he showed up, but rejection after rejection poured in. "You're too short. You don't look like a hero. You're not fit for the big screen." But Tom didn't stop. He practiced endlessly in front of the mirror. He studied actors, watched their every movement, how they delivered emotions. He fought with his dyslexia, reading scripts over and over, sometimes not understanding, but never giving up. After hundreds of rejections, he finally got his first tiny break, a few seconds role in the movie Endless Love, 1981. It was short, but it was enough to light the way forward. Soon after, he landed a part in Taps, playing a military cadet, and people started seeing something in him, something raw and powerful. The director said, "This kid has fire in his eyes." That fire. It was real. In 1983, at just 21, Tom got his first lead role, in the film Risky Business. One scene, where he slides on the floor in a shirt and underwear, became iconic. Suddenly, everyone in Hollywood was talking about him. He's funny. He's confident. He's got that X factor. Tom Cruise was no longer just a struggling actor. He was a star in the making, but he didn't let success slow him down. He believed this was just the beginning. In 1986, he got a call that would change his life forever, a role in a new movie called Top Gun. He would play Pete "Maverick" Mitchell, a fearless fighter pilot. It wasn't just another role, it was a challenge. He didn't just act, he trained with real Navy pilots, he flew in actual fighter jets, he even vomited inside the cockpit, but never gave up. Top Gun was released in 1986, and it blew up. It became the biggest movie of the year, and just like that, Tom Cruise became a superstar. Magazines, fans, the media, everyone wanted to know, who is this guy? And with all that fame, came the real test. Where most young actors lose themselves in parties, arrogance, and distractions, Tom remained grounded. He didn't vanish into the celebrity world, he simply went back to work. He began choosing roles that tested his skills. He wanted to prove he wasn't just a pretty face, he was a serious actor. In 1988, he starred alongside legendary actor Dustin Hoffman in the film Rain Man, a moving story about two brothers, one of whom has autism. People doubted him. Tom can't pull off emotional depth. He's just an action guy. But they were wrong. Rain Man won 4 Oscars, including Best Picture, and the world saw a new Tom Cruise, one who could act with heart, pain, and soul. After that, one powerful film followed another, each role, each performance, more challenging, more layered, more intense. Tom trained for months before every project, worked 12 to 14 hours a day, read every line carefully, even though reading was never easy. He once said, "I don't care how hard it is. If I say yes to a movie, I give it everything." And just when his career was soaring, love entered the picture. In 1987, Tom married actress Mimi Rogers, but their personalities were very different. Mimi was more private, more mature. Tom was just stepping into the spotlight. Their marriage ended quietly in 1990, but that same year, while shooting Days of Thunder, he met someone new, Nicole Kidman. Tall, graceful, soft-spoken, and talented, Nicole was captivating. They fell in love quickly, and by Christmas 1990, they were married. The world was obsessed. Hollywood's power couple, good looks, talent, charm. They adopted 2 children, Isabella and Connor, and for a while, everything looked perfect, but behind the curtain, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. In 1996, Tom Cruise took another massive leap, not just as an actor but as a visionary. He became the producer of the film Mission: Impossible, marking his entry into creative control and legacy building. The movie turned out to be a global sensation. Fans were astonished to learn that Tom did his own stunts, leaping off buildings, hanging from helicopters, sprinting across rooftops, and even climbing mountains. And that was just the beginning. Mission: Impossible became his signature film franchise, and over the next 2 decades, each sequel became more daring, more intense, and more extreme. Tom continued to push the limits of what a lead actor could do, physically, emotionally, and cinematically. But while his professional life soared, his personal life was unraveling. In 2001, after 11 years of marriage, Tom and Nicole Kidman divorced. The news was sudden and unexpected. Nicole cried during interviews. Tom remained composed in public, but later admitted, "That was one of the hardest times in my life. I thought everything was fine." Despite the heartbreak, Tom didn't retreat. The media circled like vultures, speculating on everything: fame, religion, children. Still, he said nothing. He kept working. Because that's who Tom Cruise was, the boy who couldn't read but never gave up. Nicole later revealed, "I thought we'd grow old together. When it ended suddenly, it broke me." In 2005, life took another turn. Tom began dating actress Katie Holmes, who had grown up idolizing him. She was 16 years younger, shy, gentle, and widely known from her role in Dawson's Creek. Their relationship didn't remain private for long. Just weeks after they started dating, Tom appeared on The Oprah Winfrey Show, one of the most watched programs in America. During the interview, something unforgettable happened. As Oprah asked him about Katie, Tom leaped onto the couch, beaming with joy, shouting, "I'm in love. I can't be cool. I'm in love." That moment went viral. Some found it adorable. Others thought it was bizarre. Many claimed it was the beginning of his public downfall. The media transformed him from a superstar into a spectacle. Soon, every word he said, every step he took, was dissected by the press. They labeled him controlling, strange, too deep into Scientology. This led to another storm: his association with the Church of Scientology. Originally introduced to it by his first wife, Mimi Rogers, Tom had joined the church in the late 1980s. He believed it helped him overcome dyslexia. In the mid-2000s, he began openly praising Scientology in interviews. He gave a controversial statement: "There is no such thing as a chemical imbalance," attacking psychiatry and antidepressants. The backlash was immediate. The media and mental health professionals hit back. Tom was labeled arrogant, out of touch, even dangerous. His image took a massive hit. Then in 2006, a ray of joy arrived. Tom and Katie welcomed their daughter, Suri Cruise, into the world. She was born on April 18, and her arrival made global headlines. Magazines paid millions for her first photo. Tom, emotional and overwhelmed, said, "She's the most beautiful baby I've ever seen. I'll protect her with everything I have." Later that year, Tom and Katie were married in a fairy tale ceremony at a grand Italian castle. The wedding was private but star-studded. But within a few years, the magic began to fade. Katie slowly disappeared from public appearances with Tom. Rumors spread: she looked fearful, she was being controlled, she wanted out. And in 2012, just 5 years after their fairy tale wedding, Katie Holmes filed for divorce. She left quietly. Took Suri. Said nothing to the press. And walked away. Tom was once again alone, and this time, the pain was deeper. Katie received full custody of Suri and raised her away from the Church of Scientology. Tom and Suri stopped being seen together. Speculation grew. Does he even see her? Why doesn't he fight for custody? He never answered. To this day, their relationship remains a painful mystery. While his personal life crumbled, his career also started facing setbacks. Some films flopped. Studios became hesitant. Critics declared, "Tom Cruise is finished." But how did Tom respond? He didn't whine. He didn't vanish. He did what he always had, returned to his work with more passion than ever. He doubled down on Mission Impossible. But now, the stunts became mind-blowing, real skydives, hanging from airplanes, racing motorcycles, free-climbing cliffs. No green screen. No stunt double. Why did he do it? He once said, "The audience gives me their time. I owe them everything. I want to give them the best." His comeback wasn't just about money. It was about respect. Even critics who had written him off were applauding again. Tom Cruise is insane, in the best way possible. He's the last real movie star. Let's talk honestly. Tom Cruise is the most recognized Scientologist in the world. But what is Scientology? It's not like mainstream religions. Founded in the 1950s by sci-fi writer L. Ron Hubbard, Scientology teaches that people can clear their minds of trauma through a process called auditing. Tom believes it helped him with his dyslexia. Over time, he became deeply involved, attending private sessions, rising through spiritual levels, and becoming one of the church's most powerful public figures. He grew extremely close to its leader, David Miscavige. Former members allege that the church isolates people, uses fear to control, and breaks up families. Tom never responds to any of it. He once said in an interview, "As a Scientologist, if something goes wrong in my life, I caused it. That gives me power." But one thing's undeniable, Tom Cruise does not live like anyone else. No public relationships. No interviews about family. No visible breakdowns. He lives through his work, through his training, through his films. He has transformed into something else, not just an actor. A machine. Let's take a look inside his daily routine. Training, like an Olympic athlete. 2 to 3 hours per day. Weightlifting, martial arts, flexibility, cardio. Trains for specific stunts, skydiving, flying helicopters, holding breath underwater. Diet, no sugar. No alcohol. No junk food. Clean meals, 5 to 6 times a day. Focused on lean protein, veggies, and clean carbs. Drinks a ton of water. Recovery, sleeps 7 to 8 hours daily. Meditates. Prioritizes mental clarity and emotional balance. This is how, even in his 60s, he performs like he's 30. But Tom doesn't just act, he builds the movie from the ground up. For every film, he dives deep into the details. He studies every line, rehearses each scene multiple times, and works closely with the camera crew, stunt coordinators, editors, and sound engineers. At times, he even rewrites portions of the script and reviews early cuts, offering detailed feedback. He approaches each movie like a mission. He once said, "If people pay money to watch me, I want to give them more than they expected. I want them to say, that was worth it." Let's take a look at some of the insane things Tom has done for his movies. Mission: Impossible, Ghost Protocol, 2011. Climbed the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. No green screen. No body double. Just a cable and raw courage. Mission: Impossible, Rogue Nation, 2015. Hung onto the side of a military cargo plane during actual takeoff. The plane lifted with Tom Cruise strapped to the door. He repeated the stunt multiple times to get it perfect. Clapperboard Mission: Impossible, Fallout, 2018. Learned to fly a helicopter from scratch. Performed a real Halo, high-altitude low opening, skydive. Broke his ankle while jumping between rooftops, and kept filming. Clapperboard Top Gun, Maverick, 2022. Flew Real fighter jets with cameras mounted inside the cockpits. Trained fellow actors to handle intense G-forces. Personally oversaw the aerial scenes direction. No CGI. No shortcuts. Just real stunts. Real danger. Real dedication. By 2023, Tom Cruise had accomplished something few in Hollywood could dream of. He rose from the ashes of 3 failed marriages, global criticism, public ridicule, media rejection, career slumps, and even near-death stunts. Yet somehow, he emerged more respected than ever. Even his harshest critics had to admit, he's crazy. But he's the last real action hero. Tom Cruise is no longer just that Top Gun guy. He's a global symbol of precision, discipline, intensity, and mystery. He's a billionaire, but you won't see him flaunting it. He's world famous, but he avoids social media. He's over 60, but moves with the energy of a 25-year-old. By now, the world had witnessed what Tom Cruise could be, as an actor, a producer, a stuntman, and a relentless force of nature who refuses to age, quit, or conform. Tom Cruise's story isn't just inspiring, it's legendary. He fell. He got mocked. He was written off. He faced heartbreak, hate, and risked his life, again and again. And every time, he came back stronger. Because legends aren't born, they're built. One decision, one mission, one fearless stunt at a time. If this story lit a fire inside you, if it reminded you what dedication truly looks like, then smash that like button, drop your favorite Tom Cruise moment in the comments, subscribe to the channel for more legendary life stories, and share this video with someone who needs a push to dream big. This is not just a video. This is a tribute to discipline, obsession, and greatness. You've been watching Speak Smart English. Until next time, stay driven, stay inspired.